So if you've ever caught yourself saying, once they get older, it's just going to get that much easier. Well, spoiler alert, you just unlocked the new level. Today on the 5 Squad, we're going to be talking about our parenting journey thus far in all the stages of life that we've experienced. Welcome to the 5 Squad. Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of the 5 Squad. For those that do not know who we are, my name is Evan Andrews.
I'm Haley Andrews.
And today we are going to get in the weeds with some actual positive feedback, I would say, of what some of the commenters out there and some of our content and how it's producing. We get a lot better result when we talk about our kids and us as parents. So anybody out there that is looking up to us or whatever it is or whatever you guys like about our takes on parenting, we appreciate that. So we wanted to do a full-on episode about the stages of life and kind of what we anticipate the future.
I think I love that because I've always wanted to share different aspects of parenting that I find important, but I don't think I ever felt like there was a place for it until, until like the viewers really thought it was beneficial, I guess. So yay, I have a voice.
Yay. Well, so obviously when kids are born, they're infants and they're toddlers,
the first
right?
stage,
Like that's the first kind of stage. But you're going to have way more perspective here because I wasn't really, I was kind of in the picture around a bit of an infant stage with Logan, but, I know that this is a big thing. Like, cause I know in the past I've heard and caught you saying what I said in the intro here of when they just get here, it'll be easier. What is your take? Because, also, too, another thing. As of recording this podcast, did not mention happy 9th birthday.
Happy 9th birthday,
to Callie
and Christian.
It's crazy that they're 9 already.
And I think that's kind of when we were reminiscing on, them turning 9. Oh, gosh, I didn't think I was going to get emotional.
Because I entered the picture at what?
2,
right?
Right before 2.
Yeah, because I remember the party.
But I think we were when we were kind of reminiscing over them turning 9 is when I started really thinking about, how much has changed with them, but also how much I took I took for granted those infant years. I think for me, I will have a different standpoint because you weren't there, but I also have a different perspective just because it was a really difficult time for me.
Yeah.
So,
like I have no idea what it's like when they're like in the little potato stage. Like I have no idea what that feels like. But how is that for because I remember you showing me the picture the other night of like both of them sitting there on the thing and so how was that for you?
Looking back, I miss it a lot because they didn't talk and they didn't, talk back and things like that. But in the moment, it was so scary. And again, I have twins, so it's a little different. Obviously I had Logan in an infant stage, but they're just so needy at the infant stage. And it's just so tiring. And it's a different kind of tired because, they need to eat every, 2 to 3 hours. And then when you have 2 of them, one's eating on the second hour, the next eating, it's like never ending breastfeeding and feeding, burping, changing. And because you just are constantly taking care of a little thing, it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
But it's a different kind of tired than what I would complain about now.
Yeah. I don't remember. Which one was the one that always woke up at night? Was that Callie?
No. So Christian was the bad sleeper.
Bad sleep. Okay.
Yes. So always up, like all the time.
Yeah.
All the way into actually the toddler stages, which I remember when they were infants and I would carry them both at the same time. I just remember saying things like, I can't wait until they can just walk. Mm-hmm. Because it's just very difficult carrying around 2, of the baby carriers and then pushing around the huge
double
stroller.
Yeah.
But then when they become toddlers and are walking, that's like you said in the beginning, unlocking a new or next level. Yeah. And with that came talking and eating and getting into everything.
But then
and biting.
Callie had her own stint with the sleep stuff too, and
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have traded off for probably the first 5 years of their life, one or the other not sleeping.
Yeah.
Very well. So like I said, it's the exhaustion, but and like different levels. But I look back now that I have had some sleep, and I kind of wish that I would have been a little bit more present at the time. But like I mentioned, it was a really difficult time in my life. I was going to college. Although I was in a relationship, I was really preparing my life to be a single mom.
Right.
I knew that I wanted to leave that relationship. I just didn't know how. I knew I had to provide for them. So I think my mind was in so many places. That's why it was so difficult. But yeah. So exhaustion, and that never goes away though.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean,
no. Now I think I'm even probably more exhausted with how they want to like run around and do this with me and whatever.
Well, I was going to say the exhaustion never goes away. It just changes. So in the beginning, it's exhaustion because you're taking care of them, like their needs, right? And then in the toddler stage, it's exhaustion because they want to run a lot. And then in the stage that we're in now with the twins, it's exhaustion because actually it's 2 points, 2-part exhaustion. One, because they want to run and do this and do that and they're everywhere. But it's also exhausting to be a good parent. You know what I mean? So it's like mental exhaustion.
Because you don't feel like you're doing the good
because
and the right.
Yeah, because you're raising humans and it's like just tiring.
Yeah.
But the level that I'm most scared of unlocking is the teenage years.
We've just recently stepped into those with Logan.
We just unlocked that.
Logan turning 13 this year, and we have a whole episode coming about the ickiness of a teenager,
the teen icks.
But yeah, it's been kind of weird. I still think that like Logan is in his own. He's his like own litmus test because
what does that even mean?
Like he's his own. He's different than, I guess,
the average teen.
Yeah, because of the things like he doesn't have a phone and he doesn't kind of do certain things that like we did when we were kids or whatever. So it's very hard to put his scenario and situation against like one of his peers these days. But
well, I think that's kind of what I'm, not a lot of people say like, oh, I'm looking forward to my child being a teenager. I mean, most people kind of make you think like, oh, so scary. Mm-hmm. But I had a really great perspective from a coworker of mine that has like an older teen. Mm-hmm. And she was just saying like, if you take the time to parent them the way you really think is the right way, then they kind of turn into like really good teenagers. I mean, she was just talking about, when they become teens, obviously they have more of an attitude. They have more of, their own say in things. But then they start driving, and that's a whole nother unlocked level that we're not there yet. But I kind of look forward to seeing the relationship that builds through that teen year.
Yeah, because usually, I mean, traditionally, the teen years is when they
don't like you.
Yeah, they separate from you in terms of like not wanting to be around you, or they're embarrassed by you, or whatever. Or I say you, us. But see, I don't know that Logan is like. I think Logan is like that in public.
Like he claims like he hates. Yes.
Yeah, but when he gets home, he's like yesterday, he wanted to come and sit,
that's what I was
talk about his day.
I think, and I don't know if this is like older sibling syndrome or whatever, but I mean, he looks forward to those times that he gets to talk to me. I mean, just in the last week, we just started school, and he's found 2 like separate times at night to say like, hey, can I talk to you about my day? Or like, hey, can I talk to you about like this really bad thing that happened? And it was just something in band. He has a new instrument and he's like sad that he didn't play well.
Yeah.
But I look forward to that, and I look forward to experiencing that with the twins too.
And they're individual, even different perspectives.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I think one of the hardest things with parenting, especially I think for us, is like you said in the beginning, we're kind of always hoping for the next stage because whatever stage we're in feels heavy. But as we've started to kind of rethink that and be more present, all of these stages are so fruitful in their own ways, you know?
Yeah. And if you keep,
and
if you keep telling yourself like, oh, when we get to this one, it's kind of like the adage of like, when I make this much money, I'll be happy. Or when I do this, it'll be great. And, you know,
we have to pause.
I just don't know. Why do we have to pause? We're fine. They're just cleaning. Everybody's cleaning. So if you guys hear any background noise, they're cleaning.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, if you're constantly hoping for something, I mean, obviously having hope is different, but I mean, if you're constantly wishing for better times or wishing for then or what or something next, then you're missing like the beauty of what is.
No, you're not present in the moment.
Right. And what are you doing then?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, you're just kind of, you're pushing along to want to get to the future faster, but what happens when that happens?
Right.
Then you look back and you have all the regret. Right?
Or you just like have no real core memories because you just weren't really there, you know?
Yeah. So what do you anticipate that the future kind of looks like? I mean, we're just going into teenage years, so we don't have like a whole, laundry list of things that we can unload there. But what do you anticipate the future is like? Maybe the sibling relationship between the twins and Logan, or your relationship with either of them?
I think the relationship between the kids, I really don't know, honestly. Like, it's just so hit and miss with them. I think the twins will continue to get closer as they, go from this elementary age to the teenage years. I think it'll shift from like, oh, I don't like you, to like they'll be like best friends. Yeah. And I think as much as Logan kind of jokes that he hates being the older brother, I think he is, going so far deep into like his identity as the older brother. I think it's just going to continue that way, and he'll continue to rise into that, role. Yeah. I think what I'm most looking forward to is just watching them continue to become awesome humans. The more and more I am present in the stage that I'm in, or the stage that we're in, I feel like the better and better everything gets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I really hope that Logan and I can have the relationship that I know that he needs.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have the best or closest or whatever relationship with my dad. So I know that it's important for him. Like, my dad was in another state during the time, that Logan is coming into right now. So
I think that's something I was actually talking to a friend about recently, that I love so much about, your place in their life is I love watching, and I can't wait to continue watching them have this father figure that like I didn't give them, by their own biological dads. And I also didn't have a dad. So I've always wanted this kind of like father-child relationship, and I unfortunately didn't give them that in the beginning. And I just feel like
you can't be that for them.
Right. And I feel like God really literally handpicked you into our family to give us that future,
Well, I think the future's bright. After this episode, we're going to go buy new sunglasses. So, but with that kind of wraps up this episode. And
I'm looking forward to the next stages with you.
I can't wait. Like, what does Buzz Lightyear say?
To infinity and
beyond, right? So, So with that's going to wrap up this episode. If you liked this episode, if you maybe resonate a little bit with this episode, whatever channel that you're listening to it on right now, interact with us, hit that like, give us a comment, follow us over on YouTube, subscribe to the channel,
leave us a review,
whatever it might be. We want to interact with more people that are joining the communities that we are trying to create. So your feedback, again, please give it to us. It helps us line out our planning sessions when we do this, and our entire this session of planning that recording that we're doing right now.
The next stages of the podcast.
It's all about our kids and parenting and all of that. We're not doing too much of the business stuff just yet because you guys are really resonating with our parenting stuff. But remember that every day is a new day and a new chance to get it right and to stay inspired. Thanks for watching.